Hey, what's up guys? I'm up here camping in a kind of secret spot that I love, and some weather's starting to roll in that I wasn't anticipating. The forecast wasn't calling for it, but there's some rain coming in, and I've got one single hiking pole because my other hiking pole broke. So I've got one single hiking pole, and then I've got two clasps, one guy line, and then two bungee cords in case I need it. And I'm going to go ahead and set up a shelter that comes out the back of my topper right here and attaches to my roof rack, and then just comes off and then has a nice ridge line to it. And I can open this up and it'll make a nice space for me to hang out while it rains, because there's definitely some rain coming. It's on both sides of where I'm at the moment. So I'm going to go ahead and set this up and show you guys how to do something like this. So my tarp dimensions, it's 8 foot wide by 9.5 feet long. So what I'm going to do with this one is I'm actually going to do the long ways. I'm going to do the 9.5 feet lengthways like this and the 8 feet across. So the way to center it is you take the middle guy line, or I'm sorry, the middle rivet, and this one right here, this loop has been torn out. So that's why I use that up here as opposed to the other side. The other side has full rivets. So let's go ahead and set this up. Alright, now you got your clamps in place. What I would suggest doing is put your hiking pole, the end of your hiking pole, put it to the top right there. And this one's actually really tight, man. That's going to be, man, I wish I could get that off. That's okay. We can make it work. This is going to come off the back in this fashion. What I'm going to do is tie a guy line off here down and create tension, so that way we can set up both wings on both sides. Then you open up the back flap and it kind of actually creates a little room underneath there. So it's pretty comfortable. Okay, so for those of you that don't know, when you're using one of these, they come with tents and stuff like that. You can pull the string all the way out of both loops, and the way to put them back in is the first one to you just loop through, and the furthest one away, same thing. Okay, and this is the one that creates the tension. This is the one you tie off on. Okay? So that's how it works. So, as you can see, you can make it real small. Just put this around the top right here. When you know I forgot my pole and hammer, but let me get my stake and hammer, but I got that right here. So I'm going to go ahead and just going to step on this, create some tension. Back's been kind of hurting me. Getting old's awesome. But I love this side up here, and a bunch of aspen trees around and stuff like that. In the fall, it's real pretty. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and actually I'm going to make this a little bit different. I always like to have the loop portion down on the stake, and the reason for that, it's easier to slide it back and forth. I don't know, well, at least for me it is. Probably doesn't really matter, but in my mind it makes sense for some weird reason. It's actually probably the same thing. I'm gonna go ahead and tie this off right here. Hey Sierra, babe, come here. It's gonna use a square knot because that's plenty good. Okay, and just kind of back a little bit so it creates kind of an angle. And then you've got your loop up here. So go ahead and you can pull this through and make it much smaller if you want to make a real tight angle going down. I'd recommend kind of just a sloping angle. I mean, just kind of consistent with what you got here. And you pull that down, that's going to be plenty good. Actually, you can do that even more. A little bit more of an angle. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, it's going to be real good. So you're able to center it. Which is what we've done right there. Then go ahead and drive your stake in the ground. The one pain about camping in this area is the ground has tons of rocks in it. So, anyway, I want to go ahead and set this up. Okay, we can actually use a little bit more room on this side, so I'm going to adjust the tarp slightly. Actually, nah, it's fine. So the next thing I'm going to do is grab those bungee cords that I have. And on both sides, I'm just going to bungee this off and create a shelter. And that way, if the water comes from the rain, it's going to shed off on both sides instead of pooling underneath the tarp that's flat, which will ultimately collapse. So we go ahead and grab these real quick. Let's see, I've got this one. Where'd that red one go? Huh, I'll have to find that. We got this other red bungee that's really awesome to use because it's super durable. And it's really tight. It's not one of those real spongy, you know, loose bungee cords that stretch for 10 miles. I think those are annoying. Go ahead and set this up. Good on that side. Do the same over here. Tie this. Whoa, that's a lot of tension. Oh, there's my bungee cord. Nice. Whoops. Pull the tailgate down. That's all right. You can prop that up, which is what I'm going to do. Once I get this set up, I'm going to show you the inside. That way you've got an interior view. This is really an awesome setup. And you'd be surprised how the wind is kind of shedded from, you know, you're kind of shielded from the wind on the inside. Because I'll sleep with my back window open with this setup because it's just so nice. Even if there's a light breeze, it kind of comes in a little bit, but you know, you're kind of under a canopy, and I don't know, it feels a little bit more secure than sleeping under the stars, even though it's not even remotely secure. But the last thing I would do is actually, I'm going to grab some bungee cords, but they're inside the platform underneath that. But take bungee cords and then you bungee off both sides down to your tires, and that way it creates a tight area over the entire. Let's see if I can get this over more. Yep. It creates a tight area, and that way when the wind comes, it doesn't flap real bad. You know, it's like you still kind of hear it, but it's nothing major. It's definitely tolerable. And it's no big deal. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and set out the rest of this, and then I'm gonna show you guys what the inside looks like. Alright, now I've got it set up the way I want with the right amount of tension. So went ahead and used a bungee cord and just tied it off in a little crease right there on the back of the truck bed, and then used a bungee cord over here too on both sides to create tension, and then did the same thing over here on the other side, except I just attached to the roof rack. So it created good tension, and I'm going to go ahead and take you guys on the inside and show you what it looks like. Alright, so here we are under canopy. I actually have 2 lights, those Lucy lights. I tuck them up underneath the tarp here, and with the tension it just holds it in place. And then I used a stick that I found over by the fire pit that was the perfect height just to hold this up and make sure this stayed tight, so that way the tarp wouldn't flap around, because right now it's actually pretty high wind, but you can't hear the tarp really moving. So pretty satisfied with the way things turned out with this. I've got it set up to where I've got my firewood right here, then I've got a stove set up as well, and I'm gonna make some dinner. So I'm gonna grab the camera real quick and just show you guys what the interior looks like. And with that, I'm gonna put on a headlamp, that way you guys can kind of see what the inside looks like here. So let me grab this real quick, and we'll show what the inside looks like. So here we go. So let me do that slide. Yeah, that's much better. So I've got my sleeping quarters. I always have my head towards the tailgate, and then I use that window for the vent at night, and it makes it really nice and comfortable. Then Sierra sleeps back in that area with the crumpled up cotton blanket. And then I've got kind of a sleep system set up here that incorporates a sleeping bag that I sleep on top of. So what it is I've got the Sea to Summit Comfort Plus. It's a 5R rating or value. It's really nice and warm even in the winter. And then I've got a 0 degree outfitter bag from Cabela's. This bag's awesome. And so it's really thick. I mean, it's like, I think it weighs 12 pounds. So it's basically like a bedroll. And I lay that out diagonally in here, and then I have my feet pointed towards that end. And it actually makes it pretty comfortable. I mean, it's a 5'5" bed, and I'm 6 feet tall, but I don't have any issues. So makes it real nice and comfy in here. And then once again, I need to do some repairs right there. I didn't even realize that. Must have just fallen down. But I got the 2 lights up there, so it makes it real nice during the evening time. Got that stick which holds it up. Got my shovel just in case I need to use it. Got my hatchet in case I want to get a fire going, because I got a fire pit right there. And overall, I'd say this little tarp shelter is super solid. Hiking poles are awesome because you can always use hiking poles and a tarp to create a shelter in the backcountry. So just remember that. 2 hiking poles, 1 tarp, and 4 guy lines with 4 stakes, and you're set in the backcountry. You can make a little A-frame tent and ride out any storm, pretty much any storm. So, all right, well, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, hit me up in the comments below. Thanks.